Meet Will and Tom, two seemingly ordinary men, cursed with a gift of vast knowledge that is forever expanding. Possessing incredible insight with unparalleled skills and expertise. Let us join them as they embark on a journey to quench their thirst for the truth while answering the questions to life's most intriguing mysteries. Let us open our minds and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Hey there, pretty bird. Wow, you're a really pretty bird. Oh, can you talk? Come on, you can talk. You know what? I'm gonna name you Fritzy. Yeah, you're a very pretty bird, Fritzy. Come on, Fritzy, say hello, Fritzy. Hello? Come on, Fritzy, I know you could do it. Say hello, Fritzy. Is there something you want to say? Come on, I know you could say it.
The end is nigh, the end is nigh. We're going to kill you. We're going to attack all humans.
Okay. I'll leave you alone now. Bye. Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
This is Will Stark.
Will, I have a fun one. This one,
all right, cool.
This one is.
I thought the last one was fun, but okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure this one is too.
I thought the last one was fun too, but I like this one because it just makes me laugh. Like,
okay, for sure.
Only because I've seen videos of similar things happening, but not on the grand scale of what the question will involve. But
all right.
It always makes me laugh.
All right, what is it?
And the question is, what if all the birds decided to turn on all the humans? And what I mean by turn is they all violently attack humans on sight.
So what if birds became bloodlusted against humankind and waged war? Oh, God. So like the movie The Birds.
Exactly. This was definitely inspired by the movie, The Birds.
Do you want to know a secret?
Yeah.
I love the movie The Birds.
Oh, really?
I absolutely love that movie.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Is that the only Hitchcock movie you really like? Or is it Hitchcock movies in general or just that movie?
Not Hitchcock movies in general. I've seen a couple others, or at least parts of them, and none of them really caught me the way The Birds does. I think it's just that The Birds is so ridiculous, but also achieves, it, at least in certain parts of the movie, actually like horrifying fear, at least for a kid. Yeah, you know. But in a cheesy way. And you know me, I like campy things. And The Birds is kind of a campy movie. I love that movie. Yeah,
I guess. I do only remember a little bit of that movie. I remember my dad really liked Hitchcock stuff. Yeah.
Do you want me to do the explaining of the movie for the people who might not have seen it then? The general like synopsis?
Yeah, actually, you know, if you wanted to.
Unless you have it already. You have it ready?
Yeah, I do have a
you go ahead and I'll just add in like things that I see fit.
what you see fit. I do have a deep dive here I think we could go into.
Oh, okay.
You ready for a deep dive?
Let's dive into this
Since,
water.
Fritz ain't here. So let's go on a little deep dive, shall we?
Let's do it.
Details from the deep. So, as I said before, this question was inspired by the 1963 film The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock, but that was actually loosely based off the 1952 story of the same name, and that and it was written by Daphne du Maurier?
Okay.
I think it's Maurier.
Is it a French film?
Well, the story, it was based off a written story.
Oh, it was a written story.
A written story by Daphne du Maurier.
Okay.
The story focuses on a series of violent bird attacks on the people of Bodega Bay, California, over a course of a few days. I didn't look this up, and now that I think about it, is there an actual Bodega Bay, or is that made up for the movie?
I don't. Oh, wait. So the Bodega Bay is in the movie, but not in the book.
Well, yeah, that description was from the movie.
Okay. I don't know if there is one, but it takes place in Northern California along the coast. She's on her way to San Francisco.
Oh, you know what? If there is one, I want to visit there just to say.
Yeah, I think she picks up a hitchhiker and they stop in a town, and she never gets out of this town because shit gets crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that for as far as just the movie part goes, that's all I got for this little premise.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to give away all of it, like just in case if some people still want to watch this movie.
Oh, so okay.
But if you want to elaborate a little bit more, because all this really said was that it focuses on a series of violent bird attacks on people of Bodega Bay, California, and is only over a course of a few days.
Yes, it takes place over a few days. So essentially, okay. Well, I mean, I'm just going to do the bullet points. So essentially, this woman, I don't remember her name, I don't even remember why she was going to San Francisco. Oh yeah, I do. She was delivering these lovebirds in a cage.
Okay.
I don't remember to whom or for why.
Yeah.
But she had to personally drive them up, and I remember she was really miffed about that.
Okay.
And I believe she picks up a hitchhiker. That's not really important. They just kind of become the main two characters of the movie. But they stop off in this kind of harbor town. And it's just like a perfectly normal, nice town in the 1950s or whatever. And slowly but surely, weird things with the birds start to happen. Weird phenomenon. I think at first, the lovebirds, I think they end up dying, and I think they die because they're trying to get out of their cage.
Oh man,
and that's one of the first things that happens. And another thing is like this: these pigeons are like killing themselves against the windows and stuff, right? And the main scene, the one scene from the movie that I think sticks out the most is the scene right before everything goes crazy. And she's at a school. I don't remember why. Mm-hmm. And outside of the classroom, one of the kids notices that there's a bunch of crows on like the jungle gym. Mm-hmm. And then there's more, and they're like gathering, but they're also like staring menacingly.
Oh man, that's
and
weird.
It's
that's
actually
creepy.
it's super ominous and scary. I remember being a kid and being like, "What the fuck?"
Especially
This is so
crows, though.
Yeah.
Certain birds like that, they are. They're weird.
And then
like
they're on the jungle gym and they're on all the roofs, and there's just hundreds of them.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I think at this point of the movie, again, this is a rusty memory right here, but the main two characters, they're on to what's happening, and I think they're like trying to get the kids out, and so like they get everyone, and they're like, just calmly and slowly walking and trying to get away. And I think at some point during that part, the birds just go ballistic.
Oh
right?
man!
And then it's not just the ravens; it's the pigeons and the seagulls and
yeah,
the sparrows.
all of them.
Every type of bird that can be found in a Northern California harbor town is actively trying to kill every human that they can see. And like you see like, the lady screaming while like two seagulls are like tearing at her cheeks, and she's like, ah!
Yeah.
And I remember the main character gets into like a telephone booth and she's like, oh my God.
That's one of the scenes I remember. Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
See, now I'm laughing because
it's so silly.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it is silly, and I know it looks silly because at the time they're special effects. They didn't have what they would have now.
No, God,
because
no.
if they remade that movie now, it would be probably horrifying.
It could be done.
Yeah. And but see, I laugh only because I remember all these YouTube videos I watch where I love watching the ones where there's like a duck or something that like in a business park, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes they have those little lakes and ducks are around.
Yeah.
And I always laugh about the businessmen or women who are like walking up and down the walkways, and this duck is trying to protect its nest or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about geese, right?
I'm sorry,
yeah,
geese.
Because no ducks stepping up to a businessman.
Geese. Yeah, and they're like chasing them away. You know what I mean? Yeah. Honking at them. Or like you just see the person walking, and they have no idea, and then out of the air, like just as a surprise, boom, on their head, this thing tries to peck their hair. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Every time I see that, I don't know why, but I laugh. Like,
I mean, it is kind of funny.
Yeah, if it happened to me, I would laugh. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's funny. I know. Like it's an animal. So I know it's just doing something out of instinct. It's not like
I will say that my experience with ducks and geese is that they're mean as fuck.
Yeah,
they're not nice animals.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You turned me on to that game.
Untitled Goose Game. I love that
Untitled Goose Game. That game is fun.
It's amazing,
and you get to be an asshole as
the
a
entire
goose.
time. You were terrorizing a town.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you are horrible. There's another scene in the movie I remember that sticks out to me is there's a point where everyone's like, what's going on? Like the birds, they've gone crazy. Is it a disease? Is it this and that? And like, I don't remember why, but there's this like scientist person who happens to be an expert on birds. And like, they're talking about, is this happening everywhere? And the scientist starts talking about like he does all this mathematics of like, well, there's this many birds in a region and this many in a country, and worldwide there's over 10 billion birds, and if they all turned against humanity, why, we wouldn't stand a chance, or something along those lines. And everyone's like, oh, it's a good movie.
I'm actually really glad that you just brought that scene up.
Yeah,
because as we continue in our deep dive here, new research estimates that there are between 50 to 430 billion birds on Earth.
Yeah.
Now, as far as I remember, I think there's only a roughly 7 billion, close to maybe 8 billion humans. So 50 billion to 430 billion, like somewhere between there. There's no way I know that birds are, they don't have weapons like we do, but I'm just saying, like, at first that's very menacing with that many birds,
okay,
right?
so let's talk about what would happen. So, we're still deep diving.
Deep dive. I'll let you know when we're back
too
up
early
from the deep
getting out of
dive.
the water.
So most research estimates that there's 10,000 species of birds, and 1,000 of which are in the USA. Largest bird, obvious. Can you guess, Will?
California condor? No, ostrich.
Ostrich, correct. Ostrich. But the smallest bird, I've never heard of this, and I was glad I looked it up.
Okay.
It's called the bee hummingbird, right? Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, I've never heard of this. Which is found only in Cuba and is an absolute miniature, even among hummingbirds. It measures a mere 2¼ inches long. Bee hummingbirds are often mistaken for bees. Yeah, for large bees, right? Like bumblebees.
Yeah.
They weigh less than 2 grams, which is less than a dime. That's half the weight of our regular backyard hummingbirds.
Yeah.
So just to show you the size of this, when the female builds a nest, the nest is barely an inch across, and her eggs are about the size of a coffee bean.
Wow.
Like, I could not.
Itty bitty.
Yeah, exactly. I wish. It sucks that these are only in Cuba. Because, okay, just real quick, I just want to tell a real quick story. A long time ago, my dad, he raised, like, I want to say 3 or 4 generations of finch. I don't know if you know those birds.
Yeah.
They're really cute. They're super small, but they're very bright, like bright orange beaks and stuff.
Yeah.
And you hear them, they're always like, pew, 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 pew. And we heard that all morning, in our backyard. He like, it was like 3 or 4 generations. And the cool part was when we stopped and we removed the cage and everything, they kept coming back. So it was probably maybe another 5. So total, maybe another 2 or 3 generations came back until they lost interest because
that
they couldn't
connection.
build. Yeah, because the cage wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
They only had a small part above the backlight, the back porch light to build a nest. So, obviously they didn't want to come back there probably.
Yeah. Okay.
But if we had these bee hummingbirds, oh my God, I would want to try to, like, I don't know, like, get them into the cage so I could, like, breed them. And I would just love to see something that small, dude, as a bird.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
sure
it'd
it's
be
very
so awesome.
adorable.
Okay, I think we could breathe now. We're up above water, out of the deep dive.
All right. So let's go over this. In the movie the birds are beyond reason. Like, they are absolutely berserk. Right?
Yeah.
And, like, they're literally killing themselves to try and get at humans, right? The danger of this happening, first of all, if it did happen, yes, many, many people would die or get injured, and it would be absolutely tragic. And then humans would be faced with the fact of, what do? Do we kill them, all the birds, or do we just hide forever, which that's not an option. So we're going to have to retaliate if we're going to survive, right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm pretty sure we as humans, we got this. Honestly, we just put on like a good enough armor. The birds can't hurt you.
They wouldn't be able
just
to
go out
do
there
anything.
with, just get your military super suited up and out there with a shotgun spread and maybe some, baseball bats.
I would think, easier thing or type of melee weapons, because shooting bullets, that's your man. I don't know any expert shooter that can like hit a bird while it's flying. Maybe some, but not.
No. But you're gonna need some red shot and all that.
Like,
I'm not saying it's gonna
flamethrower.
be easy. It's gonna be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But like, we will fight the birds back.
You do need something with a lot of spread, like you said, like shotgun flamethrower. I think would be
the places
very well.
in the absolute most place in the most danger. If you ask me, just off the top of my head, I don't know how the people of Australia are going to get through this, because the emus are fucking vicious, and
Australia always has the most deadliest shit, man. All the animals there are poisonous, and like the birds are big and angry.
I don't know how many emus there are in Australia, but I know there's more than 50,000 of them probably. And they're not easy to kill.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I think we talked about this on the show, the Great Emu War, right?
Yeah, in one of our episodes,
the Australians lost that war.
Yeah,
the emus won.
The emu war. Yeah.
Yeah, and if the emus strike again, I don't know what they're gonna do.
The emus strike back.
So, but beyond that, and maybe the ostriches and stuff,
emu.
I think humanity will eventually, resort to probably some pretty horrendous tactics to wipe out a lot of the birds. The danger isn't the birds themselves. It's what happens when we've annihilated 90% of the bird population.
Yeah, because
what is that going to do to
the ecosystem?
The entire ecosystem is going to get fucking just fucked, dude.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like things they keep in check.
There's going to be a lot of
Insects
bugs and shit that they
yeah.
keep in check. It's going to change everything. We're going to see mass extinctions and like mass like not growth, but like
overpopulated,
like explosions
yeah.
of other populations. Like it's gonna throw everything into whack.
Especially the birds I love, the ones that eat spiders, which are a lot of them.
Yeah.
I now if they're gone, I'm gonna be like fuck because I hate spiders.
Then on top of that, like, and this is more over the course of like tens of thousands to millions of years of the lack of birds will leave a vacuum that the ecosystem will then attempt to fill, right? There's nothing in the sky, and that is
that's
like
true.
Any animal that can learn to take into the sky will have huge advantages, right? So there will be probably more mammals in the distant future that end up taking to the air, or maybe amphibians, flying snakes. I don't know. Like,
man, that would be weird. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
that
I'm
would
talking
be
about
interesting.
millions of years.
Yeah,
in the future.
but
That's
like
if we had to
still,
wipe out all the birds, yeah, like, and then again with the massive ecosystem shifting, like we're gonna get even more people are gonna die. That will kill more people probably than the birds ever did.
Like
right?
people someone would be like, oh yeah, well when pigs fly, and then all of a sudden, oh.
I know, right? That being said, if just like in the movie The Birds, it just happens for a few days, then it will be just the most bizarre phenomenon. And
I know.
Can you imagine the culture we would have around birds for the rest of like? I
Everyone
don't
would-
think like the American the bald eagle. I think we'd abandon that symbol because of what the birds did to us.
Oh yeah, like another
Yeah.
like we won't forget type
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
We're gonna
Like
rebrand
we know. Everyone knows you can't trust the birds.
I wonder though, do you really think that we would be like rebrand our freedom? I always felt like that's the symbol of our freedom.
Oh
was the
no,
bald eagle.
I guarantee you we would rebrand it. I think that there would be issues with people constantly killing birds after that. People would be afraid. People would be like, I don't want no birds on my land or in my house or this and that. And it would kind of cause the first problem I just talked about, wiping out all the birds, but in a much more slow, incremental way of like the birds are slowly dying out because people are killing them constantly.
Yeah,
So
just
what happens-
like how they try to do population control with hunting licenses for certain animals. You can only hunt during certain times of year because that's when they're abundant. You know what I mean? But they only allow for so many kills of these animals because of the fact they don't want them to become extinct.
Yeah.
And they don't want to mess with the ecosystem of what these animals bring, provide to that.
Yeah, but it would be hard to control people who went through that trauma and just don't want to be around birds anymore.
People would have lost family members. I mean, they would go nuts. They would just be like, I don't care. I'm going to kill all birds anytime I see one.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you know-
fucking canaries killed my grandpa.
Yeah.
I don't buy no canaries in my land.
Yeah, you take that darn feather duster out of here. We don't lose anything with feathers. You know what I mean?
My gosh, can you
Like,
imagine?
it'd be like
Or
nothing.
the opposite of like everything I have is stuff with feathers from all the birds I killed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I guess there's already what is that? What do they call that? Down pillow, like pillows.
Yeah,
of
I
goose-
mean, that stuff
you know.
exists, but now it'll be more like they'll be like prevalent and trophyized, if you will. But
Yeah,
I can't imagine. I can't imagine the entire shock that everyone would go through.
Yeah,
there would be people being, this is an act of God. There'd be a lot of that. There'd be a lot of religious.
Oh, I
like,
didn't think
this
about
is-
that. This is
is
it's a sign,
God's
right?
warning, or it's a sign, or it's this and that.
I know one thing for sure. There'll be definitely like recently you just went to the San Diego Zoo
I
and
did.
they have a big atrium there. With,
I know.
with
I had a
birds.
really nice time in it.
That would all be gone. They would not, because they would just all be afraid that maybe these birds will again somehow turn on everyone.
I don't know if
You
it
what I
would
mean?
be
Like,
gone so much as it probably wouldn't be open to the public anymore.
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't gone, you're right. It at least definitely won't be open to the public. And I'm Joe Q public, so like that's all I'm concerned about. You know what I mean? I'd
You're
be
like,
going in.
You're like, so it's gone, Will.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, well, no, it's not
like,
gone.
it's gone. Well, if I can't see it, it's gone. And you know what? They better lower the prices of their tickets too. It's like-
I bet you they will, because they'll have to. No one will want to come back to the zoo. Like,
Yeah.
and also, like, we would probably get people like, the birds did it. Like, what happened? What if the bugs are next? What if the mammals
Yeah,
just start going
everyone
crazy
would
on
be
us?
like-
Like, who's next? Like, you know what I mean? I think it would cause a really toxic culture around animals moving forward.
Oh yeah, I know. And that's what sucks.
You couldn't really blame people because like it's true. An entire, I don't know what you call that. It's not obviously it's not a species. It's a phylum, a family, a class. Like what do you call that? Hold on.
For what? Like what do you mean? Like
birds? Like they fall under the animal kingdom. Is that a phylum? Hold on, give me a second.
I do know one thing I did want to say though too was like a lot of the businesses there'll be another booming business from this. It would be the
chicken wings. Sorry.
Well, I was just about to say they will be like recreational hunting type things where there would probably people who round up birds or go to a place where you can go and shoot at them, right? Granted, you probably have to buy their ammo and rent their guns or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But also, I was thinking actually housing, right? Because they'll be like, hey, look at these bird-proof like windows, you know what I mean? Or these... or probably like, hey, if you have an outdoor deck, guess what? You can buy this new screen that'll come right down and birds can't penetrate it. You're safe, but you still enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And that's absolutely true. All right, hold on. I think I just found what I'm looking for. Are you familiar with the Animal Kingdom chart?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for the fucking word I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
And I can't find it. It's driving me crazy. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So species is the lowest. Like a species is like a wolf is a species, but it's part of the canine genus or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that word doesn't exist anymore because of Mandela effect. No, just playing.
So, like, I'm just going to use the word class, right?
Okay.
So, essentially, you can't really blame them because an entire class of animals turned against humanity simultaneously for 3 days. You know what I mean? Like, you can't blame anyone for not wanting animals in their house, not wanting animals around, like literally becoming active animal haters for the fear that like at any point in time, any of them could turn on humankind.
Who do you think, okay, wait, let me rephrase this. So how do you think interactions then would be between, let's say, people who are like the animal activists, right? Like those kind of groups, like, I just off the top of my head, I can't think of ones for birds specifically, but like Greenpeace, right? There's people like that.
Yeah. I've never heard of them.
Some of these big associations, like they have these little groups that are still claim to be them, but they splinter off and they actually sometimes do violent stuff.
Okay. So they're eco-terrorists.
Basically. Yeah, exactly. Eco-terrorists and stuff.
So what's your question?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, what do you think the interactions would be between who, I understand what you're saying, like these other, groups of people who obviously you can't blame them because like what happened, like their family members died like off of these things, you know what I mean? But you're going to clash with these animal activists.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they're going to stop.
No, probably not. Like they're the subset of humanity that definitely isn't going to. Like, I mean, I'm one of those people, like it's not going to really change my opinion about animals. But I'm an environmentalist. Like I care a lot about the environment. It's my number one issue, like that I wish people would pay more attention to. But like for a huge subsector of humanity, it's going to change. And yeah, all those organizations are going to have to fight that much harder. Like they're going to have that much more trouble getting their point across or their goals met, whatever, whether that's scientists or, you brought up some of the more like environmental, like political kind of style organizations, but just like biologists and stuff, people who are trying to spread information and education about the environment, they're gonna have a harder time getting their points across.
Yeah, because now people are gonna not want to listen.
And that sucks. And it sucks that would be the effect, but it definitely would be.
I know. Not to mention the fact that once they do research, what if they did figure out what it was? And some people will not care. They're just gonna be like, oh, I don't care that it was like
a lot of people are like that. Yeah, they won't care. And you also got to think about like in the Great Bird Attack, which is what I'm naming it.
Yeah, right.
The people who died, I would not be surprised if 50% or more of them were children or babies because they're the ones who can't defend themselves, right?
They can't.
So it's going to be a very visceral and powerful emotional effect.
And and you know what? Just think about all the elementary schools, middle schools across America that have the open range of their field at their school for recess. And then that happens
think about around the world.
Like
think about places in the world where maybe their shelters are not as airtight as
Yeah,
some
or
of the
birds
Western
could get
world,
in
right?
there.
Yeah. So, yeah. And again, we just mentioned Australia is already lost. We've lost Australia, guys.
I know.
We're gonna have to,
Australia's the worst.
and that's the thing is people will probably there will be flags with Australia on it that they never forget.
Yeah,
and with like a bird, basically like carrying through all the continent of Australia with its beak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrifying. You just brought up something else that made me think, like, there's going to be a booming movie line that's going to come out about birds now. There's horror movies.
So here's the thing. After World War II, it was actually considered really distasteful to make World War II movies for a while because, so many people actually knew people who died or were part of it. I think that would happen here. I think there would be like a 15 to 20 year period where like no one would dare make a movie about like the birds. That wasn't a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
I was going to say a dramatization, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would start seeing those like 20 plus years later.
Yeah, because I do remember certain things for even movies that like they had nothing to do with the subject matter, but after, the Twin Towers fell, and if in a movie that happened to come out a few years shortly after that, if it depicted those, they cut them out of the movie.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't want, people to be reminded and have to look at
exactly.
that.
This would be so much more visceral. And I think we would see a big gap of time before people started referencing it in movies and stuff like that. And then only if the idea here is like 20 years have passed and the birds never did that again. Yeah. There would probably be, at that point, we start seeing conspiracy theorists of like, the bird attack never actually happened. It was a mass hallucination, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then God knows how far that rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. Also, too, I was just thinking about it. You know what? I think you mentioned at the beginning, you're right. All these businesses that have logos that are birds.
Gone.
They're gone. But think of how many of the bald eagles are on all of our government stuff,
all that's gone.
All that's gone. Even I think on our money.
You know what company it just makes hand over fist nonstop money though? 2 companies off the top of my head.
What?
Chick-fil-A and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, you're right.
Especially Chick-fil-A, which is
God.
Literally their mascot is a cow asking you to murderize chickens.
Yeah, you're right.
That is going to resonate with people so hardcore after the bird attack. Yeah. Chick-fil-A will become the new McDonald's at that point.
Chicken meals and meals with birds are probably going to be the booming food industry for a while.
I'm getting my revenge. My God.
Oh, that would be the best, the best commercial.
Just person with 2 buckets of KFC. I'm getting my revenge.
What the fuck? I know. Like, guess what? The Colonel also hates birds too.
I do wonder, it would be so like, getting a little dark here, like farming conditions in the Western world are horrible for a lot of animals, chickens almost especially, like the way they're kept and stuff. The mass revolt of the billions of chickens that are being held domestically would be, I mean, spectacular to behold. Like,
you mean when
all the chickens rise up?
Yeah, I wonder what. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
And would they
be able? Well, my question is like number one, would the chickens that are kept in the food system, I'll call it, would they even be capable of rising up in the bird? They would be bloodlusted, but like they can't move around.
They're so genetically modified. Yeah, a lot of them can't move. Their breasts is so enlarged now that I don't know if you've seen videos. It's kind of sad, but they're basically tipped over. Yeah. They're tipped over and they can't really walk. Yeah. Like they kind of have to like.
Like their specific traits have been accentuated to such a degree that like it's at the border of what's biologically possible. Yeah. Right. So it would be the ironic fact would be the farms that raise organic chickens would be the ones that would get fucked up the most because those chickens are healthy enough to kill the farmers.
To go through.
Well, you know what?
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that I want to see any farmer die or something like that. But I do understand, that we are systematically killing these animals to eat them. Right. You know what I mean? And in one way, I kind of am like, oh, okay, well, the birds got their revenge. Yeah. And I just see this vision in my head of one of those giant chicken coops from one of the giant chicken farms, right? And the guy doesn't know that this is about to happen, and he's in the middle of it, and you just see the chickens swarm him, and he's like, ah! and the chickens were like, bah, bah, bah.
I'm picturing the movie where he's like feeding the thing, and then one pecks him. He's like, ah,
Yeah.
and then two more. He's like, ah, bah, bah. He starts doing it, and then suddenly they're, bah, bah, bah. He's like, oh my god, oh, ah.
Yeah, exactly,
There he
dude. Oh my
goes.
god. See, that would be in the movie that's like made 15 years after the event.
Absolutely.
But-
How Chicken Bob died.
Yeah, exactly. How Chicken Bob died. That's a good one. But dude, could you imagine?
Sir, out there. Can anybody hear me? Please, hear me. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, this is Fritz Frivolous. I need your help. I'm stuck. Somehow stuck inside the minds of Will and Tom. I need to escape. Please support them and their podcast. You can go to patreon.com/dude-could-you-imagine or leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. Distract them long enough for me to break free. You can even leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Again, don't forget about me, Fritz Frivolous.
Hello, everybody. This is Tom here.
This is Will.
We just want to let you know that we are taking a little break from the DCYI trading card giveaway for our patrons.
The reason is because we're starting a new contest for everybody.
Yes, everybody will be involved in this new contest. I feel like it's going to be radio DJ. Like, you're involved and you're involved.
So Tom's brother-in-law did something really cool, and he made a very, very nice looking custom Dude Could You Imagine glass with matching glass coaster. It has the Dude Could You Imagine. Go ahead and describe it.
Yeah, so it does have like it says Dude Could You Imagine on there. I believe there's like certain parts of our logo that's imprinted or like that he has placed onto the glass. The one cool thing I really did like about it is like when you look into the bottom of the glass, it has the eye. You know, the eye
nice.
that's in
So
our
it has
logo.
the eye
Yeah,
in the
I
logo.
thought that's so cool. You
Does
know,
it have the faces or the tower? I don't remember.
I believe it has the.
We'll be posting pictures soon.
Yeah, I believe it has the part of the head, like the silhouettes.
Oh, that's awesome.
That are in the logo too.
That's cool.
But yeah, it looks cool. I really like it.
And he was nice enough to let us give it away to you guys.
Yeah, my
one of you
brother-in-law Andrew. And you know what? We will also be letting you know he makes a lot of other stuff, crafts and everything like that, and he does sell them. He does really well. So we will be posting and letting you guys know where to get more stuff from him if you'd like. But this contest, this is how it works. It's going to run from April 4th to May 4th. And all you got to do is share your favorite episode of Dude Could You Imagine, whether it's from season 1 or season 2. Share it on your social media. You can share it. If you share it on Twitter, go ahead and use the hashtag Dude Could You Imagine. If you share it on any other social media, just make sure you show us proof. And you can send that proof over to dudecouldyoumagine@gmail.com.
And there will be 2 other ways that you can also enter. If you feel like you can leave us an Apple Podcast review, go ahead and do that. That'll enter you in the contest. If you've already left us a Apple Podcast review, good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, you're retroactively already entered in the contest.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
And another thing that you can do is leave a Spotify rating and show us the proof. And if you do so, we will enter you in the contest. And if you want to do all 3 things, if you want to go ahead and share us on social media, leave an Apple Podcast review, and leave a Spotify rating, well, guess what? You just entered 3 times. You have 3 times the chance to win.
Yes, just don't forget on Twitter, use the hashtag Dude Could You Imagine. And if you're doing it any other way, send your proof over to dudecouldyoumagine@gmail.com. Good luck, everybody. The podcast you have just heard are the imaginings from the highly evolved minds of the extra-dimensional beings, Will and Tom. It has been translated into a format more easily understood by the human mind. Interpret it as you will. Should you find yourself seeking more answers to life's most intriguing mysteries, you can show your support by becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/dudecouldyoumagine. You can also leave an Apple Podcast review. You can subscribe to us on Instagram at dude_could-you-imagine, on Twitter at DCYimagine, and on our YouTube channel, where you can leave a like and a comment. We can also be reached through our email, dudecouldyoumagine@gmail.com. We leave you now so that you may gather your thoughts, until we meet again, to ponder the meaning of the cosmos and ask, Dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Australia always has the most deadliest shit, man. All the animals there are poisonous, and like the birds are big and angry.
I don't know how many emus there are in Australia, but I know there's more than 50,000 of them probably. And they're not easy to kill.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I think we talked about this on the show, the Great Emu War, right?
Yeah, in one of our episodes,
the Australians lost that war.
Yeah,
the emus won.
The emu war. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, and if the emus strike again, I don't know what they're gonna do.
The emus strike back.
So, but beyond that, and maybe the ostriches and stuff,
emu.
I think.